29,000 tickets. Now, Somerset is a town of just over 1,000 people that has turned literally upside down for the weekend. Thousands of cars and people drive into here, often backing up traffic as far back as the Stillwater Bridge, which is 12 miles west of here. It is a young crowd, hence the Xfest name. So cops are out in force checking drinking and drugs. Even before the concert started, we caught some people being arrested and hauled off. Now, here is all you really need to know about how big this concert is. Check out this incredibly large lineup of porta potties. Woo! Woo! Oh, fire it up! Fire it up! Get hammered! Get hammered! Get hammered! Yeah! Oh, yeah!
Well, my mom's out of town. My dad knows where I am, you know. My dad's cool, so.
The bands are great, basically. Like every band that I like is here. And I've never seen STP, so I'm looking forward to that.
Now, a bit of a lesson for you, Julie. STP is not short for KSTP. It is not the motor oil, but as I'm sure you know from your college days in the early 90s, it is the Stone Temple Pilots, a grunge group from Seattle. They are playing at 9:30 tonight. They expect probably the largest crowd of all 3 nights to be here when the Stone Temple Pilots take the stage at 9:30.
Oh, I'm hip with that, Kale. I'm all over it. I'm hip with that. You don't have to explain.
I can, yeah. Well, we're going to go into the mosh pit between shows, so if you want to come out and join us.
Get some tape.
But I'm already losing my hearing.
All right, well, we'll see you back here tonight at 10. Chris, I can't quite hear you. The audio's a little bit bad, but the weather is putting a little bit of a damper on things. This morning, everybody's waiting for the sun to come out. Because, as you know, there are 36 bands playing here over 3 days. Some pretty big names, as you mentioned. Last night, the Stone Temple Pilots were the headliner band. Tonight, it's Slipknot, and tomorrow night, Everclear. Those are pretty big names. So everyone is hoping that it clears up at least while those big names are playing. As you know, this is the 7th year of what used to be known as the Xfest. And right now, I'm one of the few people that is actually awake and alert. You can see behind me, people are starting to kind of stumble out of their tents and their cars where they've made makeshift bed last night. Now, the cops are really happy to see this tent city that's popped up behind me because they are encouraging people to camp out rather than drive under the influence of alcohol and drugs, which I can tell you we just visited down there. They're quite prevalent right down there. Now, the cops, however, have been quite busy this morning, even at 8 a.m. Now, these two guys that you'll see in the video drove all the way here from Fargo. They got within 500 feet of the park where they got busted. The driver has a suspended license, so the cops impounded his car. He must pay a $99 fine before he can get it back. But his passenger got caught with a one-hitter. That's a small pot pipe, which will run him the not-so-small fine of $345.
We got to go to the concert. We have to go to the concert because we paid the money for it and we're here.
You can see they're still in pretty good spirits, even though it was only 8 a.m. Now, we just saw those two guys walk by with their blankets over their shoulders. They're waiting for the music to start. That'll happen at about 1 this afternoon. And, Chris, we also have to point out that the cop that busted them told us that just a few minutes before that bust, he had to empty out the trunk of his car because it was dragging along the ground. He had already seized 33 cases of beer and several bongs, and that was only what he got this morning. So the cops are quite active. The people behind me are the smart ones that are coming here. All right, Kathleen, thanks for that report. We'll check back with you live again in the next half hour. Okay. Well, tonight on the Xfest, the main stage, there's Slipknot, and then coming up tomorrow, Everclear takes to... Now, the smart ones camped out in a small tent city that's popping up here right by the stages. Now, people, they may be having beer and brats for breakfast, and they may have slept in damp sleeping bags for beds, but at least no one here was arrested.
Sweet. We just...
You can't see, so you don't drive.
Exactly. Won't leave here until Monday. Lots of cops. He's a smart man.
Yes. Good morning. He is a smart man, according to the police officers that we talked to this morning. Now, Chris, the music will start at about 1 this afternoon, and everyone is hoping that the skies will be clear by that point. That's right, Kathleen. Thanks so much for reporting for us live from Somerset, and make sure you wear your earplugs. Yes. All right. Tonight on the Xfest main stage is Slipknot, and then coming up tomorrow, Everclear takes to the main stage. Expecting more sexual assault complaints after last weekend's Xfest concert in Somerset, Wisconsin. The third woman has come forward saying she was attacked by 5 men, and now investigators are sorting through the difficult case. Vince Irvey has the story.
It was a rock and roll weekend called Xfest. The bands are long gone now. The body surfers have returned home, but a troubling string of police reports remain.
What happens outside of the concert area itself is where we see most of our most serious problems.
Like 3 reported sexual assaults. One woman had been flagging down cars looking for beer. She ended up being raped. Another fell asleep at her campsite. Her friends left, and 2 19-year-old men allegedly raped her too. The latest case to surface happened Saturday night at the Hideaway Campground. The 19-year-old woman had come here to Somerset with a male friend to check out Xfest, and after several hours, he told her he was sick of being here, so he left and headed back to the Twin Cities, but she wanted to stay here, so she stayed. She tells investigators she met another male friend here, and everything started out fine until he took her back to his campsite where he was staying with 4 other friends.
She was assaulted that night by all 5.
The investigation is moving slowly because she had just met the man who took her into the tent. She didn't report the incident until days later, and she's not even sure of his first name.
She did try to get out of the tent, but they actually drug her back into the tent.
Could have happened at Floatright Park just as easy as it happened at Sunrise or Apple River Campground or Apple River Hideaway, any place. That can happen anywhere.
None of the incidents happened at John Monpetit's campsite, but he brought the concert to town. More security and police were on hand this year, and underage drinking citations were way down from a year ago. Somerset Village Board members aren't saying much on the record, but Monpetit knows that with every new wave of police reports comes talk of putting an end to his concert.
I mean, I have a right to be in business just like everybody else in the world.
In Somerset, Ben Serby, 9 News.